Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's morning tea time, and I'm here in front of the Museum of Contemporary Art. And as you can see, it's a beautiful summer's day here in Sydney, down here by Circular Quay. A little bit of cloud, a little bit of breeze, but nice little temperature, not too hot, not too cold, and a great day to be out and about enjoying the elements. Anyway, let's get on with it, and we'll go through and do another book summary. And today's book summary is entitled The Presence Project. The Presence Project by a fellow named Michael Brown. And it's a book which is all about mindfulness and how to achieve mindfulness and the benefits that you can potentially get by being present and in the moment, as opposed to being elsewhere and distracted. So the book presents a 10-week program to help us become more present, and the goal is to connect with your present in order to sow the seeds of what will come your way tomorrow. Because our tomorrows are just a continuation of the present moment. So once we understand it, once we appreciate it, then you're in a far better position to not worry about your tomorrow and just focus on what you're doing right here and now, and your tomorrows will sort themselves out. But if you're worrying too much about tomorrow, according to the author, then you're going to miss out on the present. And by missing out on the present, you're not going to lay the foundations, you're not going to do the groundwork, you're not going to do all the things that are required in order to get you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. So, centering the state of present moment awareness is all about just becoming present and becoming aware of what you're doing, where you are, and what you're trying to achieve. And it's all about truly engaging with what is happening in the present moment. So being one with what is happening in the present moment. So taking time to notice, taking time to appreciate and express your gratitude. So what does it all mean? What does it all mean? So the first key point to come out of the book is that we need to understand that the uncomfortable moments that we have in our lives, and listen to this, listen up everybody, because it's a recurring theme which comes from a lot of books that I've presented, and the importance of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's in these uncomfortable moments, according to the author, in these uncomfortable moments that we learn. There is a moment for us to learn. So we need to accept, welcome and embrace discomfort so you can learn to value it, as all emotional difficulties are opportunities for growth and development. Has anybody sat you down to tell you that basic yet obvious, profound statement? That all our difficulties are a welcoming opportunity for us to grow and develop and become a bigger, better, stronger, and more flexible person. So what's the key? What's the lesson? The lesson is very simple. The lesson is that we don't run away, we don't seek distraction, we don't sweep things under the carpet from our feelings. We need to confront, we need to work with our feelings as opposed to trying to suppress them. So another thing that the author talks about, which is very, very empowering for young and old, is that it's not about feeling better. A lot of people spend too much time chasing happiness and chasing that feeling better experience. But what we learn from this text is that it's not about feeling better, but it's about getting better at feeling. I'll just pause a moment just so I can sink in. It's not about feeling better, but getting better about feeling. And the reason why we experience discomfort needs to be addressed as well, because a lot of our discomfort comes from our reflection or a memory of something hurtful that happened in our past. It may have not been physically or actually hurtful, but we've perceived it as being hurtful, we've registered it as being hurtful, and because we think of it so is it, and it comes to us time and time again as a hurtful moment, as a hurtful experience, because we've defined it, we've interpreted it as being hurtful. So one of the things we can learn to do is to let go of that past connection and make a new empowering connection. You have the power to do it by thinking about it, by rationalizing it, by using your conscious brain to redefine it. We can relive our past at any time, and you can relive it to make it better, or if you're silly enough, you can relive it to make it worse. So what's the second point to come out of this book? And the second point is as follows. So what happens to you is not your fault. You've got to understand this. Whatever happens to us is not our fault. But what is important is that we need to understand that it is our responsibility in terms of what we do with it. We can do what we can do with it. So we can make it a stepping stone for growth and development, or we can make it a shackle, a pair of handcuffs, a ball and chain to keep us unhappy, disappointed, and stressed out for the rest of our lives. So the author talks about the importance of learning how to respond, and it's important to understand that word. It's important to learn how to respond to experiences rather than to react to them. So what's the difference, you may ask? What's the difference between responding and reacting to experiences? A reaction is an unconscious behavior based on patterns that we have established in the past. It's an automatic response that comes into play to help defend ourselves from attack, and it initiates our fight or flight response. So it's a habit, it's a behavior, it's a routine which has been automated. We don't think about it, it just bloody happens. However, the difference between a reaction and a response is that when we respond to something, it's a conscious behavior as opposed to a subconscious behavior, and it's something that we choose, and on what we it's something that we choose in terms of what we focus on and what we perceive in the present moment. We are aware of our emotion and our conscious state, and choose to do something that is productive. So it's really, really important to understand that when we respond to something, it's our conscious behavior as opposed to our unconscious. So we can shape it, we can choose to shape it, and we can choose how to interpret the present moment, how to perceive it, and we can be aware of our emotional and conscious state, and to do something, to shape it, to move it in a direction that's going to be productive, empowering, something that's going to help us as opposed to disempower us and give us pain. So what do we need to do? It's pretty obvious. We need to cease blaming others, and we need to cease blaming ourselves, and to deal with the reality at hand, but the reality that we've interpreted, not the reality that others try to push and foist upon us. Our behavior in any given situation plants seeds for our future circumstances. So that's important to understand. How you interpret something now and how you deal with something now will set you on a path for future circumstances. It will determine, it will influence the consequences that come in your future. So it's better to have a positive momentum to help generate a positive outcome in your future rather than to have something which is negative and painful. So the author then calls us to action and says that by being present, by being mindful, by being raw here and now, you're transforming everything. Your mindfulness and your presence is the most important thing that you can possibly do. To be right here, right now. To be mindful as opposed to mindless. Because everything thrives on our presence and acts and adds to our collective well-being. Because what I do with my present, if it's productive, if it's empowering, and if it's going to have a positive ripple effect, impacts not only me, but other people around me, my family, my friends, my work peers, my community. So there's an important call to action that the author draws our attention to, and I think we'll finish on that note. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club and going through this presence process by Michael Brown. We'll finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's take some of these hacks from this wonderful book and learn to be present, learn to make the most of the here and now, because what we do here and now determines our tomorrow, because our tomorrow is just an extension of what we do today. So make sure that what you're doing today is going to be adding and putting you in motion and rippling you forward to getting to where you want to get, based on using your rational mind to influence your subconscious mind. Anyway, Yassas, Filakya from Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again. I'll come to you at lunchtime with another book summary where hopefully we can help each other get through the morning, get through the day, and get us to our tomorrow. Bye for now, and stay present. From Jim, who is here and now at Circular Quay on Jim's 5am Club. Bye for now.